Let's see how we settle and how we gather over this next 15 minutes or so. See how the gathering happens, see how the welcoming happens, the welcoming to this connection. As we settle, a sense of well-wishing, sense of openness, sense of collecting attention and giving attention, receiving experience, and settling. Connecting with the ground, connecting with the space, connecting in this now, or this here, this time, this space. Like this. The attention given, the experience received from the breath. And the gift of attention. Noticing of how things are with people. And gathering attention, gathering. It's like this. A welcoming, welcoming of experience. And a welcoming energy able to receive in this capacity the gift of attention. The gathering of this energy, a collecting of this attention, this gift. A settling in the stillness, in the space. Openness. And collectedness. A well-wishing. It's like this. A few minutes. Given time, given space, given attention, and collecting and gathering, settling in well-wishing. My breath is like this. The moment, here, now, this time, this space. Complete in and of itself, given life, given sensitivity, given this moment. Received and welcomed. The all of it, the all of the energy of this moment, the all of the goodness, the well-wishing, the whole of the acceptance, just as it is. A breath, received and released. a rhythm, in the knowing. The whole of the energy, the whole of experience. Like this. The allowing sense of permission, in this knowing. The structure of the stillness of the sitting, and the settling of a stillness that's sensitive, alert, this knowing. This much, in this life, given life, this life received, this gift. In this moment, this stillness, is sensitive, alive, awake. fulfilled. This is the space. This is the time. This is the opportunity to suffer less, to make less causes for suffering, to encourage the allowing of the gift of life to be fully received, the gift of attention to be fully realized, the space for less suffering, the doing of something that reduces, or the not doing of things that increase more stress, more suffering, more pain. The exercise of compassion through wisdom, the compassion of the Lord Buddha offered a way of considering, the way of relating to the experience of this separation, that is life, in a sense of me and I, that is a complication of our life. Because the more that it's there, the more the sense of grief is there, the grief of separation from the loved. The more the basic tensions of the irritation of separation, the more the identification with the sense of personality and history. So the opportunity with the sitting meditation, with the reflection the Lord Buddha gave us of there are noble ways to relate to these experiences. The understanding, which is the patience of being able to bear with it, and the knowing of the responses. The responses are in accordance with truth. So the actions are in accordance with truth. So as the not believing in the sense of inadequacy that this separation is, and not making more of it, not feeling that we can't cope, we need something or we need to get rid of something, but in place of that, doing something that actually will lead to less suffering, knowing that sense of knowing, the sense of coming from a space and an assumption of the basic skillfulness of doing good things and practicing in every aspect the Eightfold Path. This is what we can do. There is this grief, there is this pain, and pretending it's not there, or trying to cover it up, or trying to somehow exaggerating it just to feel it more, is not going to lead to less pain for us or less pain for others. The Lord Buddha was really skillful in just offering an education which we can practice, offering a way of thinking, offering a way of behaving, offering a way of making effort and sustaining that effort through all aspects of our life. The practice of knowing what's happening in the moment and knowing how the heart is in this moment is the practice of the Eightfold Path, the remembering that, recollecting that, reconnecting with that knowing in every way that we possibly can. This is our inheritance, if we've had any connection with the Lord Buddha. And this is our privilege, our possibility. And this is a wonderful possibility. This is what we can do. Create causes and conditions for less suffering now and in the future. This is what our humans can have, that possibility. This is because they are cause creators, they are karma creators. This is part of how humans can relate. And in our relationships, allowing that to be something that has nobility and gives value to life in whatever way we can, how we relate to ourselves, having a sense of kindness and compassion to this one, so that we're not making more pain for ourselves, not generating more causes and conditions for pain for ourselves. And this requires wisdom. It's not a question of following likes or dislikes, but of reconnecting with what is actually the most skillful thing to do here and now, and recognizing that we can make mistakes, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, but willing to learn from those mistakes, willing to accept those mistakes, and willing, having learned to not repeat them. Because we're very foolish. We feel we never make mistakes, and that's the nature of ignorance, to feel that we've not made a mistake. And not know that we've made a mistake. Once we've known we've made a mistake, then there's the opportunity to learn from that mistake. in whatever field or whatever way we find ourselves. So to do this, and the grief that we feel with a sense of separation from the loved, to find ways to relate to that grief in whatever way that we find ourselves. It's inevitable that there'll be all that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. It's one of the reflections that is a wise thing for all of us to do. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. Now, this is, if we don't keep remembering that, recollecting that, noticing that, when it happens, because inevitably, the cup is already broken, as Ajahn Chah said, or there is already the breaking up, the separation. We live in a world that we feel separate. So how to reconnect in a wise way? Well, part of it is not taking this separation so seriously and so personally, and actually feeling, well, there is something that we can do. We can practice the 5 precepts. We can communicate in ways that are not slanderous and not lying and not deceitful, not harsh. We can practice. And we can have gratitude for that practice. We can appreciate that. We can be aware of that. We can give attention to that. That's mudita. This is natural. When we reconnect with a sense of we wish ourselves well. And it's like this. And it's a muddled old thing. This personality. It's going to be impermanent. It's always going to be imperfect. And we're not expecting it to do more than it can do, which is be this focus of and this place where we feel this is where we are. This is the time, this is the space. And as long as we feel this is how it is. And as we give attention more, as we receive life more completely, with less expectation, the complications that we put on things become more obvious, more transparent. And we don't need to, it's obviously more painful to keep thinking that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. Because it's such a ridiculous proposition. Just do the best we can. And the grief of separation, the grief of the pain of this this existence, we can give space to, in a sense of, and a structure to that, so that it suffers less and it generates less suffering for others. So that the life that we lead is more something that we can say, this is the best I can do. This is what I can do. And this limitation, and in the Lord Buddha, with all his wisdom and all his compassion, which has, serves us today through all the people who ever supported him, for all the people who ever taught, who realized what he taught and taught from there. The Lord Buddha himself, he couldn't stop all the pain and suffering in the world, because this is the nature of the world. It's like this. He's definitely very confused. And the grief and the lamentation and the despair and the irritation and the anger, it's just part of the complication of it. And what we can do is not add to that, not further complicate it, not make more of it, but give it the space to be like this. You know, the stillness of a sitting practice of meditation, the stillness of this, exercise of the heart, this cleansing of the heart through just staying with this, noticing this, being with this, and not making more problems. Practicing that and the basic practice of sitting meditation and walking meditation, the attention given to simple things in one's life, and recognizing that trying to make something perfect that's always going to be imperfect is never going to work. But we can give opportunities for less suffering for ourselves and for others. We can not make more problems because of the way that it is, because this is how it is. And this is what we can offer. There's, we talk about it as reflections, or we talk about it as opportunities to consider, and we use these words. We use this technology, which does weird things, which we don't really understand, most of us. We understand only in part. We don't really know how to relate to it, so we get all sorts of things slightly wrong. But this is how it is. This is how it is. Incredibly lucky, incredibly fortunate. We can give attention to that, knowing a sense of that gratitude, a sense of that appreciation, a sense of that joy. This is what we're able to do. It's stunning, really. And we can dedicate or have a sense of consciousness that any goodness that we can do, any goodness that we have done, can be something that we are aware of and can share. We can appreciate the goodness of what we've received and appreciate the goodness of what we can do, and say, may these blessings be shared. May we be conscious that these blessings can be shared. In that sense, we are very fortunate. The blessings can be shared. And we can know that blessings are shared. This is very fortunate. And we can have confidence from the teachings that any goodness that one does do can benefit all beings, and beings throughout, at least since the time of the Buddha and probably before, or previous Buddhas have all said, may all beings be well and happy. And this wishing of all beings be well and happy includes us. Beings wish us well, have wished us well, do wish us well. And we can wish ourselves well. We do wish ourselves well. We really wish that No, we be completely free from all suffering. And in that, we also wish that everybody else be free from all suffering. We really do wish that because it would make our life easier, really. Appreciating that everybody that we meet, we would really wish that they be free from all suffering. That's the best we can do. We may not be able to do it for people. We can't do it for people, actually. People have to work it out for themselves. We have to work it out for ourselves, whereas there's no suffering. This is the strangeness of this separation. A separation from the loved, which is the basic separation of all life. No? The sense of separation, the struggle of that, the struggle to wish ourselves well. It's a strange one because this imperfect individual, this personality, actually cannot be free from all suffering. Now, it's looking at it the wrong way. That the thing is to not take this personality personally. And then, at the bottom drops out of it. Things are just seen as they are. And there's a strangeness in that, a peculiarity in that. It's a shift, the weirdness of it. And part of it is to smile at this. And I do feel that part of this release from this, what we carry around of me and mine, this carrying around of me and mine, my problems. And this is how it is. And it's okay. It's not supposed to be any different. If it wasn't supposed to be different, it would be different. This is how causes and conditions have worked themselves out. What we work with is what we've got. Understanding the stresses and strains of this moment, not generating more through a sense of inadequacy. The sense that generates more suffering is a sense of inadequacy. Sense of I need to do this, or I need to do that, or I can't cope with this. I have to push this away. And then to say we shouldn't have that makes it even more complicated. So it's like this. And then what is not caught in that? What is not caught in that? It isn't separate. Which is not personal. See, the thinking doesn't reach that because the thinking is all personal. And it's not that there shouldn't be any thinking, because the thinking is the thinking, but what knows the thinking? And then the actions, just spaciousness to do that which leads to less suffering now and in the future, leads to less complication now and in the future. And the practice of all the aspects of the Eightfold Path, which come down to just knowing what's happening now, knowing the knowing. And practicing the assumptions that they're doing good, there's going to be good results. The assumptions that there are things we don't understand. The assumptions that there is that energy finds a way to find a completion. And that there is something that we can do. That's the basic assumption of right view. And then the dwelling on the Dhamma, the dwelling on the Four Noble Truths, the dwelling on aspects of the Dhamma, the dwelling on the aspiration to not indulge, not to harm, not to dwell in hatred. And then in the terms of our communication, our relationship of connecting through this use of conventions of speech and language, which is extraordinarily strange, that this is possible. Not using it in a way that's harsh or deceptive, or just abusive or frivolous. Doing the very, very best we can with that. And then in that also how we talk to ourselves. Careful how we talk to ourselves. So not dwelling in a sense of self-disparagement, which is common for many of us, or self-aggrandizement, which is also common for some. So, maybe if we come to these things when we tend to be more disparaging than aggrandizement, but it's we're both work. And then in our actions of body, just being careful with those. And then how we support ourselves, having a sense of self, we can do this. And then making the effort not to continue with habits that we know are not skillful. Not to continue following those. Not to pick up new habits that are unskillful, and to keep going with those that are skillful and develop new skillful habits through the sense of this moment is where we are. The sati of this moment, samma sati. This is a practice. This is why it's such a business. This samma sati is such a business. Every single aspect of this body and mind are covered in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta in ways that actually keep it safe. This is what it's a good idea to give attention to receive, to notice it just as it is. Just as it is. This is just the movement. This is just the way that it is. All of it. Is just this much. This is what we can do. With continuity, sustaining it, sustaining it, sustaining it, sustaining it, sustaining it, sustaining it, sustaining it. And this is what, with the power of that sustaining, the sense of gathered attention in this moment, this here, this now, in this convention. This is what we can do. This is the limitation that we're with. Free from grief. It's not that we don't have grief, but we're not bound by grief. Free from anger. It's not that anger doesn't arise, but we don't get trapped by it. Free from the personality, because we're not taking the personality personally. Free. This is what we can do. So that's probably enough of a rant or a rave or a start of a contemplation. And it's certainly offered as what I can do this evening. And if it's of any use, fine. And if it's not, then leave it behind. But if you have any questions, then by all means, try to type them in the chat for now. Thank you for your attention. If there aren't any questions, never mind, but let's see if there are. I don't have enough kanti, enough patience to sit longer than an hour per session. No need to mention to do it the whole night, sitting practice. I don't know how to develop this practice further. Also, even in this case, is it good timing for me to do now super regularly? To start with a super, shall I sit starting reading an anatomy book so to be able to visualize the parts of the body more clearly? Oh, so two questions in one. The basic of super is hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. That's the basic one. That's what we see when we look at somebody. That's what we see when we look in the mirror. That's what we see. Hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. When we look at the teeth, we look at their skeleton, we look at a skeleton. And this knowing. I don't have enough kanti, or I don't have enough energy, or I don't want to do it. Sit all night. Is it really necessary to sit all night? I don't know. If you can't bring joy to it, then it's probably not going to be worth it. But give joy to it. If you're going to do the sitting all night, make it something that gives joy. Even if it's the joy of knowing, well, I'm getting through this. The joy of running a marathon, the joy of running something, the sense of achievement that happens in doing something. So I'm not necessary. I sometimes, when I hear that some people could host and offer dana to several hundred bhikkhus, I am inspired and wish someday I could do so. However, due to my limited ability, I could only do small offerings. I try almost daily for various people. How do you think will be the best or quickest way for me to be able to develop and cultivate the capacity for the future? Thank you, Ajahn. If you're paying taxes in your country and you're offering dana to everybody in the country, so if you think that, then you feel some sort of sense of, hey, I'm doing it. Everybody you meet in the country, if you're paying taxes, has received your dana. Even if you pay just VAT. It's not wrong to think that. Don't think you're not doing it. Yeah? Do see that your life is a gift. Even if we're paying EVA, you're paying GST, or you're paying income tax, you're paying some sort of tax, you're actually offering to everybody in the country. What they do with that is not your concern. It's like being worried about if you give blood, whether it's going to be received by somebody who's then going to go on and murder somebody. It's not your business. If you give what you give, you give. If you give blood thinking I'm only going to give blood to people who are going to use it in a wise way, you're going to be in trouble. You don't know what they're going to do with it. Yeah. So give what you can. Yeah, the grief of separation is an ingredient that keeps us attached to identity. Yeah, identifying with grief makes it worse. It's part of an identity. If you have your own sense of identity, you're going to feel a sense of grief, because there's always going to be separation from the loved. There's even going to be separation from what you love about yourself. When your mind goes, when your looks go, when your teeth fall out, when your hair goes grey, when your faculties get less, when your strength goes, when your muscles weaken. How to silence the negative thoughts my mind makes? Or should we not silence the thoughts but just accept it? Michael. Investigate them. Not wanting the thoughts, that wanting to say, well, the thoughts are silence thoughts. It's just going to make them stronger in some ways. Because the sense of not wanting it will increase the sense of attachment, the sense of I can't cope with these negative thoughts. Not indulging in them. So the sense of, hey, there you are. Knowing them, what you do with the negative thoughts or with the hindrances is to treat them with the Sattva Bojjhanga, with the factors of enlightenment. First of all, you know them, sati, and then you investigate them as dhammas. Oh, this is how they are. This is how they work. This is what feeds them. This is what sustains them. This is where they end. This is what is not caught up in these negative thoughts. This is what knows the negative thoughts. This is where the thought ends. Not trying to get rid of them, but knowing what's not thinking those negative thoughts. With a sense of effort, so you're not indulging them, or a sense of joy that you're actually able to transform them. A sense of peacefulness with the negative thoughts. And a continuity of that peacefulness and a sense of sensitivity to them, which is also able to endure them. These are the factors of enlightenment. Use those with negative thoughts. So you're not trying to get rid of them or silence them, but notice where the silence already is. What is not thinking those negative thoughts? Where do they end? Where do they begin? Is your left toe thinking those negative thoughts? I don't think so. No. Go around them. Yeah. How do you cope with coping with something that somebody tells you not? It's a strange one. Somebody tells you something in confidence, and then you feel, well, I don't really want to keep that confident. And then, I don't know. It's a difficult one because it's a sort of tell it to a tree. It's not. If somebody asks you to keep confidence, ask them before they ask you. And if they ask you to keep something confident, having told you it, then you say, well, you didn't actually say this at the beginning, whether I really wanted to receive that confidence or not. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, you can at least say that. You can at least let them know that, that the burden is not something that you welcome. Or you can just, and if something's illegal or something that's actually dangerous, then you're really stuck. Just, I don't know about the confidence of the confessional that the Catholics or the people do. That confuses me. Then I don't know. There with some people, when somebody has said, they've told me something in confidence, I won't even mention it to them again. It just goes into a space where it's not something that I even remember. Often when people tell me things, I don't remember them because I don't think it's my place to remember them. I just don't know. No, they tell me something that's really terrible or something, and I think, well, I don't have to remember that one. and then when they come again, they say, and I think I forgot what they've told me. which can be sometimes a bit distressing for them, but I can't always remember things that people tell me because I don't think it's my business sometimes to remember. And then I find difficulty, and then I don't know quite how much I should say or shouldn't say to things. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, confidence. And I'm not sure whether it's a good thing to demand of somebody sometimes. It's a funny one. It's a funny one. I don't really know what might be best. And I think sometimes to let somebody know that I'm not sure that I will be able to keep that confident, or if I do keep it confident, it won't necessarily just be with me. It might be with somebody else as well, because I might need some help with this. You can sometimes explain it like that, and then you don't know. But really, the only confidence you can really keep is the confidence that you keep with yourself. You're going to tell somebody, then it's no longer a secret. It's the end. It's already shared. It's already really out there. So it's the way it is. Enough for the questions. It's good to see you all.